Good morning, good day, uh, good night, wherever you are. Welcome back to Edessa, the Holy Land. In this particular scene, there will be a rather attractive but alluring woman going around the streets. She seems to be looking for a particular person. She was sent out under the orders of the Toreador within the Noble District to find the new oathbreaker within the city. She has searched for not too long within the merchant district, looking for any signs of unusual activities or unusual persons.
The sounds of not too loud, but the audible sound of strange foreign singing can be heard not too far away in the market district. As this woman, as she is continuously searching around, looking through the street, she does come upon a group of men who are. They appear to be currently singing with a local group of Arabs of all people. Um, it's almost inaudible whatever they are singing. It doesn't even sound like English. It almost sounds like drunken meandering, if anything. But sitting not too far from this strange sight is a man dressed in very almost regal clothing with a large saber at his side, and next to him sits another man, not adorned in very regal clothing, but he is wearing foreign. Like a foreign soldier's uniform, something that you might see to the north somewhere. It looks like it would be very uncomfortable to wear in the daytime due to the large amount of fur that covers the coat and the hat. He sits next to the man with a short bow on his back and a saber at his side, and they appear to be talking, but it cannot be heard over the a very loud, boisterous singing of these men.
All right. Seeing this unusual sight, this woman will come up into your particular crowd slowly and carefully, kind of looking back and forth. And she'll look at the man in fur and ask him, uh, are you the one my master asked me to find?
Man looks up at her. It depends. Who are you looking for?
My master said he'd look for a man that resembles that of the hound.
Resembles the hound. I wonder if that's supposed to be derogatory, Filipski. The man sitting next to him just sort of stares blankly as she notices, and he just has this very sullen look on his face. And he responds with, "It might be, my lord. Either way, who is your master?"
He resides within the noble districts, but his name is Conra.
Ah, yes, Conra. I think we should be off now, Filipski. I think the Toreador wants to speak with me. Uh, gather the men. Yes, my lord. The other man sitting next to this noble, stands up and walks over to the group. She notices that two of the men in the group appear to be twin brothers, and an older man that vaguely resembles them, possibly their father, are told in a foreign language that she probably cannot understand. Uh,
No.
Something, yes, definitely. She just is told something, and the three, they say their goodbyes to the Arabs, and they begin walking with this noble Jeroen and Filipski, his servant, and they are following this woman to where I believe it was the noble's district.
Yep.
They
She'll
follow in tow.
She takes great interest in you. You're very exotic to her, and she's probably blushing a little bit to your dashing looks, but tries to keep quiet and just focus on directing you to her master's domain.
Jeroen, I smile a bit upon seeing that, but I continue to walk back straight up. My soldiers would do follow in tow.
Yep, and
And I almost forgot a small dog is actually being held by one of the twin brothers. Appears to be some form of dachshund.
yep, she'll she'll also notice the dog, and her eyes will kind of glitter looking at it, but then again she focuses back on the task at hand. And about 20 minutes once she from your travels from the merchant districts up to the noble quarters, she'll stop. There's a gate separating them from the rest of the city. She shows off some mild paperwork to the guards outside to allow you guys in. So the guards kind of look at you ollie, mainly to the large entourage. And about 5 minutes later, she'll give you to a rustic courtyard, mansion with a courtyard with servants working, mainly keeping the gardens kept and the walkways clear. And she will tell you, there will be our master's bodyguard will be at the door. He will direct you further on. I must get back to my task. And she'll bow to you and start running off.
He nods his head to her, smiling. Thank you. I proceed with my men up to the door. This bodyguard, what does he look like? Possibly Arab,
Actually, no.
European?
He is very European. He is about as pale as you are. He's ranging around, actually relatively tall and short. He's ranging around 6'2". His face is a little roughened up from encounters. He has blue eyes and brown hair. And you see mainly right now that he's kind of leaning on a cane, and he'll take notice of you. He definitely looks like a thug. That's the main thing. He carries a sense of menace, but other than that, he looks very human.
Hmm. Good evening.
Oi, so you're the oathbreaker, right?
If that's if this if the little birdies are true are speaking, I guess that's true then.
He kind of snickers at that. He goes, "Only the nobles care about such things as that. Survival is what counts." You see, you see him smiling at you, which is probably odd in your circumstance. So who's the entourage?
They're my soldiers. They follow me everywhere. Filipski and the brothers Kimish and their father Kimish.
Yeah. He'll wave at them, goes like, "Hey."
The twins, they kind of nod their heads almost at the same time. You might notice at the guard, the twins are probably almost as tall as him, possibly taller. They are very, very strong-looking individuals as well. But they also kind of have this look of childish innocence on them, as almost like gentle giants, as it were.
Hmm. Grant
I
will
don't.
kind of. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, Grant will kind of focus on the older gentleman and goes like, "Aren't you weighing yourself down with somebody that age?"
Wait, what was that? That you broke up a bit.
Oh, sorry. He goes, "Aren't you wearing yourself down with someone that old?" Aren't you wearing-
Kamish, Mr. Kamish steps forward and he says, "Oh no, I feel like I'm still 20 right now."
He'll snicker that. It's like the blood does that to us. But I'm surprised. He must be very valuable to him, and you must be a relatively well-kept man that's been alive for this long. Okay.
I'm only in my early 40s, sir.
And again, he snickered at that. Where I'm from, I'm surprised anybody gets past the age of 24. No.
So, is Conrad in currently? Hear he wishes to speak with me.
Yeah, he nodded to that, like, yeah, he does. But I like wasting his time. It gives me a small bit of joy. It gives me a small.
I say keep that up.
Like, I very much will. Well, I give him reason to keep me around, though. The torture gets kind of old after a while. But
Jerome might take. It probably is taking note of how he continuously repeats his words very quietly. Might think that's a little odd at first, but it might just. Then again, this man is a European, and he might just have trouble. He might not. He might have trouble speaking French.
and he goes, "Oh yeah." I was like, the point in his hand. My name's Grant.
Pleasure to meet you, Jeroen Lukanowski.
He kind of cocks his head, like, "Yeah, you're not." What's your crap? I don't know. It's like, you're not from England, are you?
Poland, actually.
I see. I haven't been over there, though. I hear that you guys have some pretty nice fields.
Oh yes, we do. I wouldn't go there now, though. The Baltic savages and the Cainites from those lands have been allowed in recently by our hetman. Bloody Chemise liars.
Again, he snickered at that. Those freaking monsters. Hands are like knives to the body. Like, it's ridiculous.
Our hetman didn't look like that. He was more well versed in speaking with the beasts than he was in shaping his own skin. That's why I trusted him a bit more. Then he lied to us. Then I get thrown out, and now I'm here.
And
Clan Gangrel takes it in the ass once again.
at least you guys aren't treated like those Malkavians. At least you guys
Uh, oh, the children of Malkav, yes. I've met a few before. They seemed relatively okay. I do not know why my clan fears them so much.
Though they're crazy, as we all know, and they can manipulate your mind in a way that no other vampire can.
A ghoul knows that much. Interesting.
My master trained me to hunt your kind, in case things get out of hand.
Still, I've known even Cainites who know little of their abilities. Strange. Your master must be very well versed.
His master taught him many things to keep him alive. He in turn taught me. He in turn taught me.
Maybe one day I could teach you how to hunt a lupine then.
Those were things he keeps babbling about in his studies.
Oh, their claws are as deadly as clan gangrels, I will tell you. And they are fast as devils themselves. Some say they were spawned from the devil's underbelly. I would not be surprised. They are ruffians and savages, all of them.
Yet the Baron makes a deal with them, so it shows that I have enough power to make him pause.
What? The Baron made a deal with them?
You didn't know about that? Well, of
I
course.
got in the city last week.
Yeah, my master told me about it. That apparently we have made a deal with some were things that are within the city itself.
Even though Jeroen uses blush of hell, like has a permanent blush of health, his face goes pale for a moment. Lupines in the city.
Yeah. But other than that, my master says he didn't know anything else about it besides what the Baron told him. And he told me in turn to make sure that I was aware. Best thing he told me is to avoid them.
Baron strikes deal with lupines. You notice that Grant will notice that one of the other ghouls, Filipski, he immediately sort of steps in for a moment and says, and he whispers something in Jeroen's native language. Jeroen sort of just looks away for a moment while Filipski looks to the guard and says, Jeroen had a bad run-in during his embrace with lupines. Was nearly killed by them. He's doesn't like thinking about it, so maybe we should get off this topic.
Yeah. It's all right. It's like, there's no need to bring up things that are unnecessary. And as he says that, you notice a look on his face. As, like, he's kind of had a chipper attitude since you've been talking to him. And all of a sudden, his face starts to kind of go limp and monotone when he begins to talk to you. I must have used too much time. And he'll open the door. Do please go in. And behind it, you'll see Conrad with his arms crossed.
Jeroen regains his composure immediately, and Filipski takes a quick step back.
I see that my apprentice has chosen to waste my time yet again. And Grant will say nothing, just looking at you.
Jeroen, I bow my head to Conrad. Conrad, good evening.
Jeroen the Oathbreaker, good evening.
How are you on this night?
I'm rather annoyed that you allowed my apprentice to waste my time.
May we enter?
Yes, you may. Dog needs to be on the leash, though. I won't have a thing running around my good home.
Do not worry. I will. I will have Kamish hold him the entire time. He proceeds to say something again, foreign language, and Kamish nods his head, and he is holding the dog up in his arms so he does not jump down or ruin any furniture or anything like that.
Yeah. Conrad will roll his eyes a bit and will call out in the background for a servant to get some cord and rope. Yeah, I mean some cord. It's like, I will give you some cord, tie it to the dog, make sure it's attached to his wrist.
All right. Don't worry, we have cord. I pull out some. I have that in my equipment. I pull some out and I tie the dog to Kamish's wrist, and we will proceed in if you allow us.
Yes, I have tables and chairs for everybody.
Fine.
He'll turn around and start walking.
We all follow in tow behind you.
Within the building, it's relatively vast, and despite its definitely high quality material, it looks very rustic and practical. In the large center area of the entrance of the door, there is a large round table with several chairs. In the center of it, there is hummus and sweet meat. And there'll be a few gentlemen going around cleaning the floor. Some handmaidens having cups of possibly wine, maybe even just actual clean water, and a few people playing music, mainly on wind-based instruments. And he'll sit down without the assistance of his servants, but the servants, once they see you, will take notice and try to pull up chairs for everyone.
I thank the servants, my servants thank the servants as well as we all sit down.
Conrad will take, observation of everybody here. Well, I'm glad my my other servant was able to guide you here safely. I'm assuming she was pleasant.
Very much so.
I'm also hoping she was to your liking, if that was necessary.
It didn't have to be necessary, but she was a very lovely young woman.
And he actually slightly smiles at that. He's like, I'm glad I still have an eye for detail.
Druin smiles back. Now, down to business.
Yes. I've called you here today to explain your situation under my supervision. For right now, since I have heard nothing from the Baron, you and your servants will be given minor labor tasks, helping my servants clean this place, refurnish other areas, and possibly I will ask you to do more, let's say, risky ventures, but you will be suitably compensated for those type of tasks.
That sounds fine to me.
Good, that's good. Now, Jayrun, I understand that we did have a poor start, but I do believe in second chances, and I do believe that any person can move from the original station. And since I am going to sponsor you, if you have any questions for me about my position within the city or my personal life, do ask them now.
My only question is, what is your relation to the actual politics here in the city? What is your station? That is all I ask.
At this point, I am just an up and comer that has done a have a had a relatively pleasant relationship with the Baron of recent. At this point, if he wishes me, I supply him with resources, mainly money and weapons, and possibly um, intelligence on our enemies. The most recent venture I've had is I was part of the saboteuring attempts of the siege instruments outside the walls.
Ah, I see. Very interesting. It is good to know. Just one other question, if you do not mind my asking. It is related just not to you, but if you know about any other members of my clan in the city, if you do know, I would any of their names, I would like to get to know them and make my presence known to them at the very least.
I'm very sure that there are other gangrel within the city, but I have not dealt with them directly. You'd be better off asking the Lady Seneschal for that.
Ah, yes, the seneschal. What is her name?
Her name is Madeline.
Lady Madeline.
Yes.
Hmm. Interesting. Sorry. I was speaking the other night to a man by the name of Asir. Believed him to at least have been human, but he was telling me um, he mentioned Lady Madeline's name. Do you happen to know this Asir?
Yes, I met him rather recently. He seems to be some type of bard of that. He kind of spits out the word of Allah. He,
Ah,
yes.
is he one of ours?
I am aware that he's a Kindred, though I'm not sure what exactly he hails from.
Huh. Interesting. We had a long conversation the other night about music in one of the local lounges. It's just odd that if he is a Cainite, then I just find it kind of interesting that neither of us would picked up on the fact that that either of us were well part of Cain's brood. Hmm.
Both your clans lack the insight of the Toreador or the Cappadocians.
Hmm. The Clan of Death, yes. Don't know many of them.
I hear that there are a few within the city, though I have not met them as directly as well.
Very reclusive. Anyways, so my duties, I understand, but my only other question right now is where will I and my men be living?
Well, I'm curious of that. I haven't had made contact with you till this point. Where have you been living?
We have mainly been living in the rack recently.
I'm assuming within um, the inns within that area.
Yes, that area.
Well, I'm not against hosting your group here, though. I will. It would cost you an extra boon to do so.
I do not want to have to put you out by having all of us stay here. You already seem like a very busy man. I am content with staying in the rack and making a haven there, if you would allow this.
I would very much allow that.
I think that then I think this will all work out in the end.
Good. So, do tell me, Jeroen, as the oathbreaker that you are, I was talked to you with the Lady Madeline about your particular situation. And maybe I was a bit too harsh on your assessment, but it does not change the fact that you disobeyed an order by the prince himself within your original haven. Tell me, was it due to simply contrariness, or did you have some type of moral obligation to keep your decision?
My decision to call out our hetman in Krakow was due in part to the fact that he lied to me. He
Did he?
lied,
That's
he
a
lied, and in my eyes, he lied to the city. And many of the city's clan leaders would agree with me on that. Though he may have won in the end, and many met their final death. What he did was revolting. What he did was disgusting. He was giving up, he was taking domain that belonged to Cainites in Krakow and giving it to the Baltic Cainites. And even, as he said, he was looking into giving up our domain to the Baltic lupines who slaughtered our people. As he called it, a peace agreement. He promised us he would not do this. He promised all of us he would not do this. And when I asked him, yeah, and when I begged and pleaded for him to please make the right decision, he still lied. He said that he would swear on the cross to me that he would not allow this to happen, and yet he does in the end. Now that is who I would see the traitor in that situation. I do not care if you call me Oathbreaker, but I want the truth to be known at the very least. That I stood up for the city, I stood up for our people against a lying prince, a lying hetman. And I have gained the enmity of many for this. Clan Shemise, they see me as a vile beast. And you know me as Oathbreaker. I swear to you that I will not break an oath to you. But if you are to do something like that, go against the city on just completely become a traitor to this fine city of Edessa, I would rather be ripped apart by the devil himself than stand by you or anyone who would hand this city over to savages. That is what happened to Krakow. I don't want to see this happen again.
he kind of he definitely has a contemplating look on his face. Interesting. I find it funny that you believe that your prince has lied to you involving the where things of making a deal. If you haven't been aware, though, I'll say this. Don't tell the Baron that I told you this. He has made a deal with the where things as well.
Your,
This
your servant informed me, actually. Just an offhand thing he said.
He growls at that. Why do I tell him anything?
The where things are still an issue. If they prove themselves, though, if they were to prove themselves to possibly be of a civilized manner, and they do not wish to destroy the city, I have no qualms against it. If they are savage, lying monsters like the ones that tried to burn me alive, I will have no part in their affairs.
I assume this is a temporary truce before we figure out a way to eliminate these creatures. And I will gladly assist in such a matter. This is not a truce, this is a hostage situation, and I will not be part of such a thing. Nor will I allow our Baron to show such weakness. We are the kindred. We should be fear of nothing more than our own power.
Yes, they might have their claws, but we have more than that.
But if we're ever going to defeat this enemy, we must know more about them. I understand that the Baron has not went to the Were things directly about the weaknesses, because regardless of what their opinions of the other Were things, they're still Were. So, honestly, telling us things like that would put them at their own disadvantages. But I hopefully will get to a point where I can devise a plan to allow me to know their secrets.
If it is at all possible, I could help in that respect. Now, I do know more than your average gangrel about the Were things. I don't know their weaknesses, but if it is at all possible, I could help in manipulating those secrets out of them, trying to show kinship to them. As much as I find it revolting, it would be for the betterment of the city.
I don't know if I would recommend such a ploy. You'd be better off using some type of cat paws to deal with them. I doubt the Were things care anything more than their own Were kind. Trying to.
Still, I have heard tales about some sort of strange kinship that gangrel have to them. I don't believe it myself, but if I could play that card, I might be able to get something out of them. Show some form of sympathy for these demons.
Oh, well, if you wish to risk your life in such a manner, I cannot stop you, nor will I.
Hmm.
But if we're able to get them in my presence and we're able to pacify them long enough, I should be able to deal with them.
All right. I think, is that all then?
He starts looking away, and he definitely seems like he's pondering. Well, unless you want to possibly help the servants clean some dishes, I have nothing of any real importance for you yet.
All right. I would help, but I do apologize. Me and my men are still gathering supplies for the small memoriam we are going to do to our fallen friend.
Yes, I remember you bringing it up. Well, if that's the case, then I do ask you, once you've created a proper living space within the racks, you are to contact me immediately of your position, so we can schedule proper visits from either I or the Baron.
That is fine then. Good evening to you, sir. I must take my leave now.
Good evening.
Jeroen and his men proceed to walk out of the manor and back into the streets. Jeroen thinking in his head about the events of that night, of his first embrace, when he was captured by those beasts, those lupine, those werewolves, when he was burned and stabbed and prodded and poked. And he hears that little voice in his head, that beast that he's so close to, say, are you going to let them stay in the city? Those monsters? His men look at him for a moment, almost like they heard as well. He brushes it off. He's determined to see that these things do not destroy the city.
And with that, I we will end the scene. Thank you, watchers, for watching, and have a pleasant day, morning, or evening.